Hello everybody, my name is Jay and welcome back to Jay Book Reviews. Now this is not going to be a book review, all it is just going to be my very first book haul, yay! So I'm just going to pretty much recommend books that if you want to read along with me or anything like that, these are the books I wanted to read for like the summer. And since I've been working at a part-time job I've been buying books, and I mean loads of them. This book haul is just only a few. I have more over there, but those are the books I'm not gonna read until I guess later in the summer, maybe by the end. But overall, let's just begin with one of these books, and most of them are just either horror, but two of them are pretty much not. But let's just start with this one. This one I'm gonna read right away because I want to read it, and that is Watchmen. This is considered as one of the best graphic novels of all time, and I wanted to read this for a while because I heard it's interesting, and this is what made comic books more interesting that people seem to take serious. And this was nominated one of the best for Times Magazine Best Novels. Um, this came out in I don't know probably 86, 85, but I heard it is interesting. Um, I found this at my mall, my local mall. It was in a pawn shop well, not a pawn shop, but more like a collectible place. It has everything, and I mean everything: comic books, cartoon cups, glass cups, DVDs, for a very cheap price. As I was about to leave, I found this, and this was like $10. And these books I bought was two of them I got from another place, but all four of these books I'm going to show you, or any of them, I got them from Books a Million. Love it or hate it, I actually kind of have a mixed bag with it. One is that they have mostly all the books I can, and that's my local bookstore I can go in because there's barely anything at my mall because it's all closing down because the malls over there are dead. But everything's expensive at Books a Million, and I almost like paid like three books, and they were pretty much up to $50 because how there weren't discounts or anything. But if you buy a card, it's like a discount. But over here at Books a Million, it's like Watchmen's like $30 for this whole book in general or the hardcover. But um, I just rather just pay a very good discount price on them. But you know, Books a Million is. But I found this for $10 and I picked it up right away with my money, and I'm just thrilled I found this. But I did read one comic book by the same guy Alan Moore has created, and that is The Killing Joke. To me, that's probably the greatest comic book ever made. But if this one's as people believe, I'll I'll probably take their side on that one. But overall, I hope it better be good, and you guys should read it too if you want to read along. All right, so out of that, let's talk about one book that I saw on YouTube that stick to me, and that is Night Film. This book was it's considered one of those good horror mystery books. I don't know the premise of the story, but all I know is that it is pretty good. Um, I heard about this when I was watching a YouTuber who does book reviews in general, and that is Edward Lorne. And this is a video. I'll put a link in the description. That's some of the books that I found, and that's when I found Ghost Story. Um, was how he says they're the best books not written by Stephen King, like best horror books that are not written by Stephen King. And this one he put on his top number one because how this one sticks closer to him in his mind actually. And I end up thinking like, okay, I'll find this book one day and I'll see what he's talking about. And I found this at this place called Ollie's. It's a kind of like I don't know, like a Big Lots, but pretty much full of junk. They do have loads of books there, but most of it's just either crap or a mixed bag. Don't mind that. That's just a highway. It's just truck passing by. I'll cut that out. But yeah, I heard this book is interesting. Inside the book, they have like notes, like website pages that make it look real, like this actually happened, but it didn't. And it's pretty interesting. Like literally, every page you see, it's like full of like an article from the internet, Facebook or anything, or Rolling Stone magazine, but I'm gonna look forward to this one. I am. So my next one is gonna be part of a trilogy, and that is this one book I wanted to read for a while, and I wanted to read classic horror books, and this one is no exception, and that is The Exorcist. Ooh, where do I begin? Everybody knows this book, or everybody knows the movie because everybody's familiar with that. I'm just gonna tell you the premise of the book. It's about an innocent little girl gets possessed by a demon, and they don't know what's the cause of it until they get a priest that does an exorcism. That's all you need to know. It's a pretty simple book, and it's considered one of the scariest books and the scariest movies of all time. When it came out, it was shocking and everything. It was just, when I watched it, yeah, it was scary, but it's not really the scariest movie of all time. I've seen more scary movies that really did get to me. But overall, I do think The Exorcist is an important part of horror literature in general, even horror movies to begin with. Um, the guy who wrote this, he recently died in 2017, January 12th. Rest in peace, dude. Um, but I really am looking forward to read this. I know this, I heard it's great, so overall I heard this is fantastic. Now this one I picked this up because I saw it online, and I immediately wanted the paperback because how awesome it is. If you're a big fan of 80s in general, you're gonna love it. Like Stranger Things or anything, you're gonna love it. And that is My Best Friend's Exorcism. Look at this thing. This is awesome. I never saw a paperback this neat. It pays tribute to all sorts of campy horror movie tropes and all that. It seems like it pokes fun at that. And I heard it does a great job. I heard there's a movie being in the works right now. If it is, it's going to be try to be campy, and that's what it's supposed to be. I love this paperback. There's a hardcover that is trying to be an 80s yearbook, and that's fine. While this one is more like an 80s VHS tape that looks awesome. It looks awesome as hell. I'm so glad I found this on my Books A Million, and I'm glad I called them too, because this was the last copy. And it's pretty short. It's like about 237 pages long. It's a story about friendship, possession, and all that. I heard it's very good. It has loads of 80s songs, 80s references, and all that. I love that. I'm looking forward to this book. Now, this one is another exorcism book, but this one I heard is considered as another great horror book, and this is what Stephen King said to this. This book scared the living hell out of me, and I'm pretty hard to scare, and that is Head Full of Ghost. It's another exorcism book, and it's pretty short. I don't know what it's about, but on the back it just tells about one of their 14-year-old daughter gets possessed and all that, but I heard this is good. I heard it's very good. I don't know what it is, but I'll leave a link on all these books I'm recommending, and I want you guys to, if you want to buy them, or you can go to your local library. That's all. Now, that's over with. Let's talk about one last horror book, and then we'll move on to, pretty much we got two of them left. This one is by Joe Hill, and that is Nosferatu, or NOS4A2. And Joe Hill is pretty much Stephen King's son, and I did read one of his books, and that is Heart-Shaped Box. I did do a review on it, but I deleted it because I just didn't like what I said in that one. I also talked about in Ghost Story about how I didn't like its main character, how shitty he is, and how he's kind of a douche, and I just didn't like him in general. But overall, I think the book was pretty good. It's just his main character wasn't that great. But I heard so many good things about this one, so I picked this one, and it was like $19. I heard it's like It, but it just has like the vampire Nosferatu or Dracula, whatever his name is. But I heard this is an interesting horror book. I heard this is one of his best since Heart-Shaped Box. I hope it is, but a lot of people do enjoy it. And since while I have this book, there is a TV movie coming for this, and that is from AMC. I saw the trailer. It looked okay, but the editing, they need to hire somebody else because that editing was awful. you can barely tell what the hell's going on. But I hope the book better be good. But if I watch that miniseries and it's crap, sorry. That's just my opinion. Alright, now one more, and this one I got from my local library that I bought for $1 because it was a book sale. They barely had anything there. They said they had everything, but I got 4 books from down there. But we're going to talk about this one because this one I was very interested in because I wanted to read this. It's very short, but it is a classic. It's not a horror book, but it's a very, very classic book. And that is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. As you can see, it's not in the greatest shape, but I bought it for $1. It's not bad. Where do I begin? This book has one of the greatest villains ever made, and that is Nurse Ratched. She's a cold-hearted, well, let's just say she's not the nicest person. The story is about a group of inmates in an insane asylum. They get treated like crap, and one guy comes in, McMurphy, and he pretty much be friends with all of them, and they all rebel against the horrible Nurse Ratched, or the big nurse. And that's the premise of the story, and it's interesting. And I mean, there is a movie that had, and it won Best Picture and even won some Oscars because how good the movie was. It had Jack Nicholson, Christopher Lloyd, Brad Dourif, and all sorts of good actors in that movie. I never watched it, but I heard it is fantastic. And I heard this book's fantastic too. So, overall, that is pretty much my book haul. Alright, so that is it. So, overall, this will be the book haul of the month, or something like that. I don't usually do these, but I'm going to do them anyway. So, I'm probably not going to go in order of all this. So, overall, thank you for watching. I'll put all the links in the description for the stuff I referenced, and also the books. If you want to order them, go ahead. If you want to go to the local library, that's fine. You can do that. But overall, thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit like if you want to watch more book reviews or you want to see more. And I will feel free to do it. But right now, I'm going to get back to reading a little bit. And thank you for watching. See you later.